Hey everyone, Val here. And we have Sock Monkey in the chat. We got the K and Mac project. And Anthony Chua was here a little bit earlier, but he said his mom's car won't start. He had to go over there to see if he can help her out. So I am trying to make sure that we have volume. Everybody can hear me. I hope so. All right. And I have my screen up on the big screen so that I can help to monitor my chat. And Steve will be here in a little bit. He had a doctor's appointment he had to run to, but he's on his way home. He should be home in about 15 minutes. So he will make an appearance. And hopefully we can get through this. Now I can only load like 10 pictures at a time. So I'm hoping that I can do this kind of smoothly and get through some of these pictures and talk a little bit about Peru. And I do have some video. I am going to be putting the video out a little bit at a time as I can get it edited. And I'm still struggling a little bit with my sinuses and a cough. So I hope I don't have any issues with that tonight. So how's everybody doing? Okay. I hope so. And Sock's saying it sounds good. So that's good. So what I wanted to do tonight was going to talk about Peru a little bit. And I did put a video out on our flight down there. And of course, when we got to the church and we started out to go to the airport, we found out that our flight had been canceled. So we turned around, we went back to the church. We had to rebook a different flight. We ended up going out of Reagan Airport instead of JFK. So we kind of had to change things around. It took us a little bit longer, about 30 hours to get there. And we had some challenges coming back also with the same thing going on. So we have West Virginia running Dawn. Hi, Dawn. How are you tonight? And we have Jeff and Calvin, the Boston Terrierist. And how are you tonight? Hope y'all are doing well. And I'm going to get into these pictures in just a minute. But we finally did get there. And we got to the airport. And then a van picked us up. And it took us down to Ayacucho. And that's where we stayed for our first 5 days when we were doing our missionary work, our clinics. Troy from Adventure America is here. Hi, Troy. And Todd is here. Hi, Todd. Troy's saying he's very sick tonight, so he won't be doing much chatting. Sorry to hear that. I am trying to get well. I'm still struggling a little bit with my cough and my sinuses and all. I do have a doctor's appointment next week because I have sinus issues every day of the year, and they're going to be looking more into that. But I'm sorry you're not feeling well, Troy, and I hope you will feel better soon. I've just got to fix my chat up here. All right, so if I miss any questions, until Steve gets here, he's going to watch the chat for me. But if I miss any questions, either bold them or make the questions bold or something. I'm going to do the best I can unless somebody wants to come in and hang out with me and tell me if I'm missing any questions. But Chris from Ari's World is here. Hi, Chris. And Turtles Walking is here. Hi, and I hope y'all are doing well. I'm going to start out, and I can only load 10 pictures at a time. So bear with me as I switch my pictures out. But I'm going to start talking about some of the things that we did in Peru, starting out with my first meal. And this was a meal that we had in the airport, and it is eggs with like a bacon on top. And then it had rice underneath it. They served everything with like rice and potatoes, which I thought was very weird to have rice for breakfast. But that's what it looked like. So it's a little bit of eggs. There's a little bit of bacon on there. And then there was some kind of like a teriyaki sauce or something on it. So it tasted good. I'm not sure what the teriyaki sauce was all about. But I mean, it didn't taste too bad. So that was my first experience with food there at the airport. Y'all check each other out. The channels, let's see. And if you have questions, let me know. My next picture is at the airport when we landed in Ayacucho. This was our airport. We had to get off the airplane out on the landing strip, and then we walked into the airport. It was a really tiny airport, but that was pretty cool. And if you notice, like the background, I don't know if y'all noticed the background, but look at all like the mountains and stuff. There was nothing flat about Peru. Peru was all mountains. It was so awesome. The landscape was beautiful. I enjoyed it. And there really was nothing flat at all about Peru. Vega. No, that's not me. Have I missed anything? I hope not. All right, my next picture is this. And this is the truck. We loaded all of our suitcases into the back of a truck, and we had like a 12-passenger van. Yeah, Steve will be here shortly. Hiking with Jackie Boy is here. Hi. Kevin, how are you tonight? But we loaded all of our suitcases into the back of this truck. And then we loaded into a 12-passenger van. We went down to the hotel, and there was like a courtyard. You could pull into the courtyard. And I do have some video of it, but I don't have pictures of the courtyard. So I think the video will come out tomorrow night. So look at that. But the Jeep that was ahead of us went into the courtyard, and then the truck and the 12-passenger van pulled off to the side of the road, which the roads were really, really narrow. And you weren't supposed to stop on the roads. And there happened to be a police there, and it ended up giving a $150 ticket to us for stopping, for not pulling into the courtyard and getting out of the road. So I am not sure why they did that, but the people that were driving us there got tickets for not pulling off the road to get us out of the vans. My next picture is us. You can see the truck ahead of us going down the street into Ayacucho to go to our hotel. Yeah, you would think they would have known that if they didn't get out of the street, they would have got a ticket, but I don't understand. My next photo is our room. And I shared a room with a girl named Joy. I hadn't met her before, but she had a sister that lived locally, and she wanted to go on the missions trip. Her sister was thinking about going with her, but ended up not going. Yeah, policing for profit. I see that. And so Joy and I had a room with 3 beds. I slept in the closest bed, and she slept in the farthest bed. And then we used the bed in the middle for our suitcases. But it was a nice big room for 2 people. And, we enjoyed it. We stayed there for, I think, 4 or 5 days. We ended up staying in Ayacucho. And I do have video of this, so, and I think the video will come out tomorrow. So if you want to see more video of the hotel, check out tomorrow night's video. Yeah, it was clean. I was surprised. Well, I'm not going to say I was surprised. The hotel was clean and it looked nice. And this is the other side of the room. There's a wardrobe there and a little a little desk. And then there's the bathroom door is right past the desk. But it was nice. The hotel had a courtyard. The hotel had a restaurant, and it was convenient to like the marketplace. There was a big marketplace down the street and a lot of restaurants. It was convenient to all those things. Now in the bathrooms, I don't think I have a picture of the bathroom. This is a picture in the hallway, like going down the stairs to the courtyard. The bathrooms had towels and they had hand soap and shampoo in them. They didn't have washcloths, and but they did supply toilet paper, which you're never sure of in third world kind of places or places like Peru or Colombia. Some of your bathrooms, usually hotels, will have toilet paper in them, but most places, if you go into a bathroom outside of like a hotel or something, you have to bring your own toilet paper. I carry little packets of Kleenex with me, and that's what I use for toilet paper. But they do have a rule that you can't throw toilet paper into the toilets. You have to throw it in the trash can beside the toilet. So that is something you got to get used to when you're not in the United States. They didn't have conveniences in the hotel like hair dryers or anything like that. If you wanted anything like that, you had to bring your own. And then you had to have a power adapter because their power outlets are different than ours. And I always carry a power adapter with me because some places they have outlets that you can use the same as we have, but then in other places they don't. So I always carry an adapter with me. Yeah, I always carry toilet paper just in case too. It's a safe thing to do. All right, so they had statues going down the hallway and statues in the courtyard, and you can see these really cool statues. And then this is one of the cabinets on the stairs that it's showing some of the statues that were on the stairs. I think that's pretty cool. Now, if I'm missing anything, let me know. If anybody wants to come in the chat, let me know. Oh, Leah's here. Hockenberry Holler. Hi, Leah. Let me see. And then this is us. Next stop ahead. Rick is here. Hi, everybody. Hi, Rick. How are you doing today? Have I missed anybody? I hope I haven't missed anybody. We have 12 people watching. So this is going down the street into the marketplace. When we got settled in a little bit, we all met in the courtyard and we went down to the marketplace to check it out. Our plan was to go down to the marketplace and just check it out for a little bit, do a little shopping if you want to shop, and then come back. And we were going to pack the bags to go to the clinic the next day. We packed bags that had like toothpaste, toothbrushes. For the kids' bags, we had toys in them. Excuse me. And then for the adult bags, they put like little pieces of candy in them. They put things that the adults might want in them. But we made little bags that we could hand out. We had somebody that was handing out bags to the kids and to the adults at the clinic. So Let me see if I'm missing anything in the chat. Just let me go back just a little bit. Okay, I think I'm good. So you're gonna have to hang on. I gotta load a few more files on here. So does anybody have any questions so far? How was the weather? The weather was warm during the day, but cooler at night. And there was only one night. The rooms didn't have air conditioning. There was only one night that we really needed air conditioning, but that's okay. This is a picture of us in the marketplace. I do have a little bit of footage, of video footage in tomorrow's video that I added to that. Bottled water. Yeah, you could buy bottled water everywhere. There were plenty of stores where you could stop and get bottled water in it. Our leader had a case of bottled water that she kept in her room, and she would dispense it during the day if anybody wanted bottled water. I carried a bottle that had a filter in it so that it filtered the water. If I had to put tap water in it, which normally I didn't, I just filled it with the bottled water, but it would filter the water to make the water safer to drink. I didn't have any issues, like stomach issues in Peru. I didn't have any when I went to Colombia. The last 2 times I went to Colombia, I really have not had any issues. So I can't complain. I think the water filter on my bottle does a good job. Let me see what we got here. Now, this was one of the pictures from the marketplace, and they had just had like meat hanging and stuff. They had different kinds of meat. Some of it I couldn't even identify, but they had different kinds of meat hanging. This is chicken, like whole chickens. And if somebody came up and ordered a chicken, they would, like kind of dress it out for them if they wanted it dressed out. But it's not like anything you would find in a marketplace around us, where you would just go and there'd be chickens hanging there, So that is kind of something a little different culturally. Language barrier. We did have a few issues with language barrier. And basically, we had a few people that spoke a little bit of Spanish and enough to get us by. But it really wasn't that, I guess it wasn't that big of a deal. Some of the restaurant workers could speak English. So we didn't have issues. We didn't have a lot of issues, I don't think. This is a typical breakfast. Yeah, no, they're chickens. In the shops, people would, if you ask them how much, they would kind of raise their fingers and kind of tell you how much by their fingers. Now, they used soles, and we converted the money. When we got there, there was a little place where you can get your money converted. So I had taken like $100 or so and just turned it into soles. So then we went to the marketplace. We could just use their money, and we didn't have to figure out how, much to pay and have them worry about American money. So we figured that 1 soles was equal to about 33 cents. So 3 soles would be $1. Now, it seemed like things were really inexpensive. I could go down and get an ice cream, which would be like a little cup of ice cream, like a small waffle cone, not even a cone, but just a little waffle cup with 2 scoops of ice cream in it for 4 soles. It was 2 soles per scoop. So that would have been like $1.60 or something for 2 scoops of ice cream, which I thought was really, really inexpensive. And then going to the marketplace, like I picked up a couple of hats and they were like 10 soles. So you figure that what? A solus is there's 33 cents. So a dollar is 3 soles. So this would be $3. $3 for a hat. $3.30 for a hat, which is cheap. I mean, here if you want to go buy a hat here, you're going to pay $10 or something for it. Anthony Chihuahua is here. Hi, Anthony. I'm glad you made it back. Hope you got your mom's car going. Yeah, 2 scoops of ice cream for like $1.60. I mean, it's really inexpensive. Now, this was a typical breakfast. Chris from Ari's World had sent me a question and asked me what my favorite food was in Peru. They had a lot of foods like we eat, like rice and potatoes and chicken and those kind of things. But I think my favorite thing is, you see that roll, that piece of bread there, and it's called a chapa, I believe. A chapa. Well, anyway, I think that was my favorite food. Actually, I went and looked up a recipe for it and I ordered the ingredients I need to make it, and I'm going to try to make it. What it is it's a piece of bread or a piece of roll, I guess, but when you cut it, it's hollow in the middle. So what I would do is, they would have a buffet for breakfast. I would go get like the 2 little pieces of ham and a hard-boiled egg, and I would open the little pocket and I would stuff the ham in it. The ham was cold, and the little egg in it. They did have some really soft cheese, but I didn't eat the cheese. That would be my breakfast. The pocket with the ham and the egg in it. Now they serve potatoes with everything, but it had really good flavor. And I think, yeah, it is baked. The recipe I have, they are baked. It's chapa. Let me look up how to spell it, because I wrote it down somewhere. I think it's CHA. I think that's how you spell it. But that was probably, if you want to ask my favorite food, I think that was my favorite food. So, because everything else, I mean, you can get chicken here, you can get whatever here. Sapapilia, chapa. Yeah, if I make it, I'm going to make it because I ordered the little spice I needed. I'll make a video of it and we'll see how it turns out. I'll give you the information on it. So that night we all went to dinner together. We went to dinner together every night, but we went to dinner together. I think I had chicken that night, and but I don't have a picture of that. So let me see what else I got here. The next day, well, we all went back to the hotel room, and they were working on the little bags to give out to the people in the clinic and getting everything for the clinic put together. It's nice. Did you visit any of the megalithic structures? I'm not sure what that is. We visited after our week that we did our missions. We did a week of touring, and I do have pictures with those. More food, please. Did you eat any guinea pig? No. People were having guinea pig and people were having alpaca. I said, I will try the alpaca, but I'm not going to try the guinea pig. The guinea pig to me is a rodent. I don't eat rodents, but the alpaca tasted like beef. I didn't have an issue at all with the alpaca. Nature Dog roams. Chris is in the house. Hi, Chris. How are you? Do they make really spicy food? They do have some spicy food there. I don't eat a lot of really spicy food, so I kind of stayed more to the bland. Plus, when I was in India and I ate all that spicy food, I was sick the whole time I was there, and I don't like to mess with all that when I'm out of the country, especially when I have stuff that I need to be doing. Because I don't want to fight my stomach and have to be, doing clinics and stuff like that. I don't want to be sick. So I'm really careful with what I eat. This is going to our first clinic, and our first clinic was in a town, a little, is out in the countryside, actually. It was about an hour or so away, and it was a place called Oak Rose. And this, what we had did 2 days of clinic there. And Steve is here. And we have a lot of people here watching. But we took the passenger van with for 12 people, and I'm taking pictures out of the window. So this was the countryside as we are going along, which, the country there is so beautiful. I can't say enough about how beautiful the country is. It's just the mountains and the valleys, and it's just really, really beautiful. I'm going to try to get through as many of the clinic pictures as I can. And if we run out of time today, I can do the touring pictures, the pictures of, when we went touring to Mitsubishi and places like that. We can do that another night. This is the passenger bus that we were on. I wish there was an easier way to flip through these pictures, but I have to keep adding them in. I tried to find an easier way and it didn't work out. So I'm sorry. This was the first clinic in Ocros, Ocros, and this is when we first got there, going through the gate. In this little village, the people spoke Quechua, which is a old language of Peru, I guess. And we had interpreters with us, people who translated for us. And some of our Spanish speaking interpreters didn't speak Quechua. So we had to have Quechua interpreters that would translate into Spanish, so the Spanish people could translate back to us in English. So it it was a little challenging, but we made it work. This next picture is just the countryside out there. And you can see it's a farm town. They do a lot of farming there. They have sheep and pigs and alpaca and and cows. If there's any questions anybody has, please let me know. Steve's typing in the chat here.
Just trying to keep up.
Well, it's up there too.
Yeah, I can't see that as good, but okay.
All right, this is inside the clinic. We actually, there was two buildings here. In the first building, it looked like they had a clinic there. Um, they weren't using it, but we ended up having to go through that building to the second building and set up our clinic in the second building. So I did have some pictures of the first building, but we ended up not using that building and used the second building instead. This is looking down the hallway. The guy looking at us is one of the translators for Quechua, the Quechua people, and the lady at the very end of the hallway is our pharmacist, um, and she's getting set up to go. This next picture is one of the rooms. I mean, it's a very basic room that they were taking patients in to talk to the patients. But as you see, it's, 2 chairs and a table and a sink. And that's pretty much the basics of what they had for the doctors. The next picture is the outside where people were waiting outside. And this is where our eye doctors were set up outside. And they would do the eye testing outside and then give the people the glasses. I did have the glass cases that we took with us, and everybody got an eyeglass case that got eyeglasses. But the one challenge with that was at one point it actually started raining, so we had to close down the eyeglasses for a little bit until the rain passed. Thank goodness the rain doesn't last long there.
Also, you think she got it figured out?
Got what figured out?
Software sharing, video sharing.
Oh, okay. I hope so.
Hey, Todd. Mary's World.
Now,
hey, Calvin.
This area, they had set up around the back of the clinic. And when we took our break, we had to go out of the clinic and walk around to the back of the clinic. And they had a table set out there for us. And they served us our meal out there, which was very nice. But this was the first time that we noticed the altitude there, because just walking out the clinic door and walking around to the back, we were struggling as far as to catch our breath. Like my chest started burning, and somebody else said their chest was burning too. And I mean, we didn't walk even a quarter of a mile. So we pretty much said it had to be because of the altitude. We were struggling with the altitude there.
Hey, Chris. Hey, Leah.
This was a meal that they served us back in that dining area back there outside. And they had what they called trout. They called all fish on the menu was called trout. This was whole fish, had the bones in it. You had to be very careful to eat the meat off the bones with a little bit of salad. We never ate the salad because we don't know what they washed the greens in. So fresh vegetables we stayed away from because we didn't know what kind of water they used to wash them. So, and then they always served this like large corn, and they served it in the tables as an appetizer. Like they would put it in front of your table before you even ordered. And when you bit into it, it was like really dry, almost like powdery. I didn't like it at all. Some people loved it and they would like eat the whole bowl, but I didn't care for it all. It was really too dry and powdery for me. And then they served, of course, everything with, maybe hominy. Maybe it kind of looks like hominy, but I'm not sure.
What altitude were you coming from, and what altitude were you at?
Well, the altitude here is like 300 and something feet above sea level. The altitude in Oak Gross was 10,600 feet.
You said it was 3,000 feet above sea level.
Here? Yeah. No, here is like 300. Oak Gross was 10,600 feet above sea level. So there was a really big difference. Even walking up the street in Ayacucho to our hotel, because it was, we had to walk up the hill, our lungs would burn because of the altitude there. In Ayacucho, the altitude was 9,000 feet. In Oak Gross, the altitude was 10,600. The potatoes, you can only eat so many potatoes. They didn't serve anything with like butter or anything like that. But so after the first day of like potatoes, I was kind of done. Yeah, where are you, Anthony? I know they say like Colorado is pretty high and that people have trouble in Colorado, but I think it's even like twice Colorado's altitude.
He said he's twice his altitude.
Twice his altitude. So he's at 5,000. Oh, in Denver. He is in Denver. Yeah, that can be a challenge. Now this next picture I thought was cool. When we were leaving where we were having our dinner at, there was this little cart there and it looked like a motorcycle body. Like the front of the cart looks like a motorcycle inside. It has the little handlebars and stuff. And then the back is a truck bed. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. And it's the only one we saw that looked like that. But 1 mile high. Wow, that's pretty high. 13-foot altitude. In Texas? 13-foot. That's it.
It's not very high, Troy.
No, I mean we're at 200 or something here, 260 or something like that. Isn't that a cool little vehicle? I had to take a picture because of the motorcycle in the front. I just thought it was cool. Let me see what else I got for y'all here.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. All right, the next picture is in the clinic. As you walked into the clinic, the first table was where I sat, and I sat with my translator, and that would be the table. You see the little water bottle there? That's my little water bottle there in the very bottom of the picture. But we sat there. They would give us the ID. I had a piece of paper. I would write their information on the piece of paper. Through the translators, we would ask them what their issues were. Most people said like, oh, my back hurts, or I have my shoulders hurt. They would say like my kidneys hurt, stuff like that. I don't even know where your kidneys are, but for some reason they would know where their kidneys are. And so they would say like my liver or my kidneys or my knees. Or by the end of the fourth day, they would be like pointing, and they wouldn't even have to translate. I would just know by what they were pointing to because everybody was pretty much saying the same thing. We live 5 minutes from the Gulf of Mexico. They live by the ocean. Oh, that's why you're at sea level. Let me see. Just a swim, sea level. And then once they got done going to our table and we got all the notes for the doctor and stuff on the paper, we would send them to the table beside us, and they would do their blood pressure and their pulse, and they would put it on the sheet of paper. And then we would give the papers would go to one of the pastors that was with us, and Pastor Bob, and Bob would take them up to one of the doctors. We did have a dentist there this time. This is the first time that we've had a dentist since I've been going with them. But I've only been a couple of times. But we had a dentist this time, so they could see a dentist, they could see the eye doctors, and they could see a regular physician, whatever it is they needed to see. SpongeBob Troy. And then the Pastor Bob, when he would take them to the doctor or whatever area they needed to go to, he would give them the little gift packs that we made for everybody. My job was very similar to what we did the last time. Don, the last time I did do like height and weight. This time they didn't require me to do height and weight. But it was basically the same thing. I would take down their information on the piece of paper and then give the paper to the nurses that were doing the blood pressure and stuff. And then they would pass them on to the doctor or the dentist or whoever it is they needed to see. Last time I helped with eyeglasses on one of the clinics. That was pretty fun, but they had eye doctors with us this time, and they had somebody else to help with the eyeglasses too. So I was lucky enough to be able to be inside where I could be sitting and just doing names and talking to people and stuff, which was pretty cool. I need a helmet like Sandy. Sandy. A complete medical checkup. Yeah, they pretty much had, and this picture is like the countryside. I just love taking pictures of the country was so beautiful there. I don't know if anybody's ever been to Peru or anything before, but the landscape in Peru, I mean, I'll skip through a couple of pictures here. But it was just look at the views. I mean, you just kind of look forever, and it's beautiful. And I just wanted to throw a couple pictures up to share with you, just because it is such a beautiful place.
I would have to say no, she has not. West Virginia Running Dawn.
What?
Considered taking a Duolingo like to learn Spanish. She has not.
No, I have translators that help me out. Babbel.
No comprende español.
No, I just say, do you speak English? And they just look at me funny. But it's funny because the people were speaking Quechua, and even the Spanish interpreters couldn't speak Quechua. So we needed interpreters for the Spanish interpreters. So it was kind of funny in that aspect. Kind of like the Rockies. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Let me find another picture. I'm going to go to the pictures, I think, of the second day, because I think all the rest of these pictures are like, oh, wait, I got some coming back into the city. I'll show you one of these. I was taken through the front window of the bus, and you can see the city streets, how busy they are, and going down into the city. This is before we got to Ayacucho, though. So this was the outskirts of Ayacucho. Okay. Oh, can you see that one? All right. Let's see what else we got here. I tried to get, because I wanted to show a little bit about the culture, because I love the culture in the places that I go to. And this picture has a picture or a tuk-tuk in it. And there were motorcycles, not as many motorcycles as probably I saw in Colombia or in India, but they did have a lot of motorcycles, and they did have a lot of these little tuk-tuks they're like little taxis. I have a pair of the translating earbuds. They work fine as long as you have internet, but once you get out into the countryside and stuff, you don't have internet, so they're pretty much useless. I have tried to use those. They work fine if I'm in an area that has the internet, but besides that, I just don't use them. They don't work. Anticuchos. It's we were in Ayacucho. 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 Oh, there you go.
Should I go get my hat?
If you want to. When they came to our table, when they were checking in, we gave them vitamins. We had prenatal vitamins for expectant mothers or mothers with babies under a year that were still nursing. And then we had vitamins for men and vitamins for adult women. So we did give them vitamins. When they went to the nurse's table, thank you, Leah. The nurse would give them like, it was like a parasite pill, something that they would take that would help their gut. So we had medicines like that we could give them, vitamins. We gave them a pack of vitamins to take with them. We had a pack of children's vitamins that the kids could take with them. So we made sure that they all got some vitamins. Okay, I am not sure. I don't know all of it's I don't know. We went to Ayacucho and then we flew to Lima. I think Lima was like an 8-hour drive though, but I'm not sure what was close by. For dinner that night, we went to one of the local restaurants down the street. We walked down there and I had chicken with rice and on top of the rice, where it looks like it might be berries or something, that is sausage. And then it was served with plantains and there was potatoes under the chicken. So it was chicken, rice, potatoes, plantains, and sausage. That was a pretty big meal, but it was good. I mean, I enjoyed the dinner.
I call this my chew hat.
Hang on, let me take this off the screen.
I call this my chew hat. She brought me in a chew.
Ayacucho.
A chew.
Ayacucho. All right, let's see what we got here. That looks like something I would eat. Yeah, I mean, it was good. I thought it was really good. Didn't have anything weird in it. I'm going to go to our second day of clinic and bless you. He says, bless you. Achoo.
Thank you.
Ayacucho.
Thank you.
This was my little helper. She and her family, her father's a pastor. They came from out west to help us. I forget exactly where, but she is married. Her husband is in Russia, and she is on her way over to Russia to work at the American Embassy with her husband for the next year or so, I guess. But I'm hoping that she'll keep in touch with me. But she was real sweet. She spoke Spanish, and like the people at the table here are Quechan, so they had an interpreter to interpret Quechan to her, and then she would interpret from Spanish to English to me. So yeah, she was very cool. I really enjoyed this trip. I mean, I enjoyed the clinics. I enjoyed the people. All the volunteers there were awesome. This is one of the ladies that came into the clinic. We asked permission to take pictures of them, but she had her little boy with her. They're just as cute as a button.
We're not seeing it up top there. There you go.
Yeah, it's a minute delay there, a little bit of a delay. This is our area. You see the lady in blue, that she was one of the ladies that was taking the blood pressure and stuff. And then there's a couple of the Quechan ladies there waiting their turn to get their blood pressure taken. Looks like Todd's hat.
Wow. The behind a little bit, huh?
Yeah. Now this lady came in. She was outside for a long time, and she had these flowers on her hat. Are the hats part of the culture? I think they are, because everybody was wearing hats, but she was special. She had flowers on her hat and a big smile on her face. So we asked her what the significance of the flowers were. And she said, The flowers mean I am single and ready to mingle.
Okay.
And we just kind of cracked up laughing because she was sweet. She was outside for a long time and just sitting by the door waiting for her turn to come in, I guess. But one of the things that surprised me with the people there is they would give you their IDs and you would look at them, and like I would look at her and I would look at her ID, and she would be younger than I am, and I'm 64. But I would say, why do they look so old? But it's because they're out in the sun all the time, I guess, and just they work so hard. They work, and look at all the clothes that they wear. And they wear, skirts on top of pants, sweaters on top of sweaters. We had to take 2 or 3 layers off them just to get their blood pressure taken. They really dress. I don't know how they can do that in the heat, but they they wear a lot of clothes. But the sweetest people you'd ever want to meet. They're very sweet, and they wanted to come in, and they wanted to shake your hand, and they wanted to touch your face, and they were just precious. This was the lunch the next day, and this was couscous with rice, and then it had a piece of meat on it. Now, nobody knew really what the piece of meat was. That could have been anything from beef. They did have beef there, to alpaca, to.
Did you eat the meat?
We ate the meat. Oh, Betty's here from Pretirement Days. Hi, Betty. How are you? Mystery meat.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'd say so.
it was mystery meat. It tasted like beef. It was okay. I didn't like the couscous. I kind of mixed the couscous up with the rice a little bit. I ate a little bit of it. I didn't eat that much of it. But it was just lunch, so I wasn't really concerned about it. Sheep. Yeah, it could have been sheep. I don't know that it tasted like sheep. I've had lamb before. It may have been. They had lamb there. I'm not opposed to eating lamb. Not gopher. It wasn't the gopher,
Were
the
there any
guinea
cats
pig.
there?
There were cats there.
A lot of cats.
There
or
was a
people?
lot of dogs there.
Uh,
The dogs just helped themselves. They came in the clinic with the people. They walked around. They did whatever they want. Did it bah? No, I didn't hear no baa. Anyway, that night we went out to dinner. I had chicken with, this was safe. I'm going safe, people. Had chicken with pasta. It was pretty good. Couscous. I don't like couscous. Chicken and noodles. Chicken and pasta with a cream sauce. It was very good. That was my lunch. That was my dinner on the second day. Now, when we went to this clinic in Ocros, Ocros, we were there for 2 days, and then it was about an hour and 10 or 15-minute drive there. On the third day, we went to the clinic in Socros. That was about 45-minute drive. Again, it was still out in the middle of the countryside. And it wasn't as busy. But when we got up that morning and our van was parked down, there was like a town square. We were about halfway up the block. So we had to walk halfway down the block. There was a little town square there. And then we noticed they were having a parade and there was all kinds of noise going on. And we were trying to figure out what was going on. So we were asking like our guides and stuff, and they said it was Appreciation Week, that people would celebrate and appreciate like having a job, or like the kids were, we thought they were like picketing on the street, but they were kids in front of the school that had signs. And we were asking them, what is that all about? And they said, well, they were showing appreciation for being able to go to school and having teachers So the whole week was like appreciation week. So every day there was like parades. They had like a battle of the bands for the school bands that were there. There was a stage where they had some judges on the stage and the bands would get up and play. We got to see a little bit of it, but we were just going to our van to go to the clinic. But when we came back, the stuff was still going on. So we got to see a little bit of it, but I would have enjoyed probably seeing a little bit more. But it was pretty cool that they had the celebration going on. Nighttime, they did have some like little fireworks and stuff. I don't know if it was fireworks, but firecrackers. And but it didn't last like till midnight, like around here when they have fireworks. It can be like midnight and they're still having fireworks and stuff. It wasn't that bad. So it's not like we had to be kept up because of it. But it was pretty neat that we got to experience that. So then the next day, that day we were going up to Socros. We always would eat dinner at the hotel before we went. 2468, who do we appreciate? Us. U.S. person white, podium blue, person turquoise, crowd. Oh, what? Yeah, we need more parades here. All right, so this is the countryside going up to Socros, Socos, Socos. As you can see, that's lunch. The sheep. They had a lot of, farm animals. The countryside is beautiful. Just look at the mountains in the background. It's just amazing.
Not very many trees.
There are not a lot of trees, and there wasn't a lot of green, and a lot of places was very barren. Of course, they're going into their rainy season, so that would probably help. But a lot of places, especially when we flew in and we were looking out the window and we were noticing it's like there's no green. It's very barren here. I'm trying to just throw up a couple of little random pictures of the scenery. Again, mountains. If you're a person that loves mountains, there are plenty of mountains there. Gold, silver, and bronze.
You must have been the only one entered, huh?
I would guess. Let's see what I got here. I'm going to skip over some of this. This is it's a joke. Do you get it?
I get it that it's a joke.
Yeah. This is one of the streets going into the area where we were going for the clinic. Just little remote towns. Now, the mayor did show up. And, when you think of a mayor, you're thinking of somebody, that's very well dressed and all. But these mayors were just like the people in the town. They came up in their farming clothes. They came to pray with us. They came to thank us for being there. They actually, one of the mayors from this town is the one that gave us these hats. These Peru hats. And he gave us little certificates to thank us for coming there. And this is what it looks like. And they wrote on everybody's, mine says Dr. Valerie Reese. I'm not a doctor, never claimed to be. But everybody's certificate said doctor on it. So we got promoted while we were there, I guess. Yeah, they were just regular Joes. They were down to earth, very cool. And really made us feel welcome. I mean, that's one thing, these little villages, they make us feel so welcome there. These are people coming in to the clinic. there any questions? Doctor, yeah, I'm a doctor. Doctor of something. I don't know. This is the pastor from his wife's the pastor of the church we used to go to. This is Pastor Bob. He retired. He came with us on the trip. This is him handing out little gift bags to the people that are waiting in line for the doctor. Dr. Reese. Now at this clinic, let me see, where's that picture?
Well, we're gonna start calling you Doc.
Doc. Oh, here it is. Halfway through the day, Dr. Val. Yeah, Dr. Reese. In your opinion, in your professional opinion, I think your back hurts because you carry too many people on your back. The one lady, she was saying, my back hurts. And I said, that's because, they have these sacks and they carry these sacks on their back. And I said, that's because you're carrying stuff on your back. And she said, yeah, I carry my father. My father can't walk. I have to carry my father. Well, of course your back's going to hurt. You don't need a doctor to tell you that. CR is here. Hi, CR. How are you tonight? CR is coming to us all the way from Canada. What sort of treatment can they offer in the clinic? Well, they see them for like their back aches and their joint aches, and they can give them ibuprofen and painkillers and stuff like that. If they have infections or something, they have antibiotics for that. They come for arthritis. They say, you can see their hands are arthritic. They can give them medicine to ease their pain. They have this stuff that grows over their eyes. It's very strange. They can remove that. They have to be careful to do that. They were extracting teeth there. Minor, like if somebody had something on their hand, and it needed to be drained. I know this kind of gross, but they could do things like that. Little things, tree infections.
How many was in the group? 7?
Of the
clinic group.
Our clinic group had 12 people in it. And then they brought in the interpreters and stuff. The lady that was helping me, they all came in, but they could do minor procedures, nothing major. They could check for diabetes and give them medicine for diabetes. They would check for urinary tract infections. Some people complained that they had urinary tract infections. They would treat that. They were able to do different kind of testing. Was very basic, but a lot of people came in knowing that they were diabetic, and I guess wanting a second opinion. They just wanted to have their blood pressure checked. Wanted to know if they had blood pressure issues because there was a clinic there, but a lot of people trusted the American doctors. Plus, the American doctors didn't charge them, where if they went to their doctors, there would be a charge. There's like a surcharge or something. So they would come to the American doctors because they knew they would get the free medical care.
Anthony's asking about the clinics. Are they open all the time, or are they just...
The clinics, not our clinic, but the local clinic there, I think they're open once or twice a week. Our clinic was only there for 2 days in each of these 2 areas. We did 4 days of clinics, 2 in Oak Rose and 2 in Socos. This is showing the children. There was a whole bunch of children that came from their school. There was a high school that came. I found it weird that they didn't have any parents with them, just the teachers. And I made a comment like, don't they need their parents to be treated? And they said, there's no rule saying that their parents have to be with them if they want to be treated for something. Excuse me, which is not how it would be if it was in the United States. You would have to have a parent with you. But they let the children come in. They give the children gift packs, and they gave the children vitamins to take home. And then they told the parents they told the children to tell their parents to come back. Now, the parents the following day didn't come. We ended up closing the clinic early because nobody was coming. And then we found out once the clinic was closed that there was some kind of town meeting going on. And right as we were leaving, all the people were running towards us. Like they had just got out of the town meeting and they wanted to be seen. And there really wasn't much we could do for them because we'd already closed up everything. So we ended up just giving them out like the vitamins and the gift bags and stuff like that we had for them. This is one of the doctors in one of the rooms. Oh, Fran Dash is here. Hi, Fran. How are you tonight? This is one of the doctor's rooms in the clinic. And they were pretty much seeing people with the doors open. Unless there was a procedure that they needed to do, then they would close the doors and have a little privacy. But overall, just basic checking on people. They left the doors open, and they didn't care if you went and snapped a picture. I just got a couple little pictures here. This one, the lady doctor and her husband came with her to help her out. I hope my coughing isn't bothering too many people.
Yeah, could be.
Biggest hope: obesity, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes. There was a lot of cardiovascular and diabetes. I don't know about obesity. I didn't really see too many people that were obese. They walk everywhere. I mean, they're on their feet. You see some really rough hands. There was one man that took my hand, and I mean, the first thing I thought was, oh my gosh, this man needs lotion. His hands were so dry and cracked. It was awful. And this is just showing a couple of the doctors. Let me see. This is back in the pharmacy area. They would come back there if they needed a urine test or some kind of testing. Then Becky would take care of them. And then if the doctor had prescribed a medicine for them, they would bring the form back to her in the pharmacy area, and she would get them the medicine they needed. Let me see what else I got here. This is another landscape picture. Isn't that pretty? I'll try to put some of these pictures that I didn't show you in the videos when I do the videos so that you can see more of these pictures. I can't show all these pictures tonight. I'll be here forever if I show all these pictures tonight. But I'll try to add some of these in.
And you used your phone for all this?
I use my phone for all of this.
You think you need a new camera?
No. I think my phone works fine. stream. Hour stream.
8 hours.
Oh, an 8-hour stream, yeah. Oh, one of the cool hats.
I believe it is part of the Andes mountain range.
Yeah, I think. Now, if you were walking down the street in Ayacucho or any of these other places, it wouldn't be anything for somebody to be sitting out on the sidewalk selling anything. They had everything from quail eggs to fruits and vegetables, bread. They were selling everything on the sidewalks. And that's what I like these little towns because of this. I think it's so cool to be able to see the street vendors. Let me see what else I got here.
It does go through Peru. Yep.
To Peru?
The Andes stretch 7,000 to 9,000 kilometers. About 4,000 to 5,500 miles. And they pass through 7 Southern American countries: Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Chile, and Argentina.
Now, this is one of their little ice cream stores, and they had those 2 or 3 of those on a block. No matter where you walked, you would find one of these little ice cream stores. Now, I had a certain one that I went to because it had the pina colada ice cream, had the pineapple. So I'd have to pass 2 to get to the one I wanted to go to. But usually when we got back to our room before dinner, Joy and I would say, let's go get an ice cream. And it was only $1.60. So how can you go wrong? So we would walk down to our favorite little one that had the pina colada ice cream, and we would get our ice cream. So we would get the little waffle cone, not the ice cream cone, but the little tiny waffle cup, and have 2 little scoops of ice cream in it. That was my second favorite food on top of the bread. The chapla bread. And I'm going to make some of that, and I'm going to record that so y'all can see that. What else we got? I don't know what that is. Let me see what this picture is. Oh, this was a statue that was in the square that we went down to the square every morning to catch the van, because the van couldn't park in front of the hotel because it would get a ticket. Yeah, the pina colada ice cream was the best. The best. And in case you weren't here at the beginning, I did tell that the van, when they let us off at the hotel, because they didn't pull into the hotel parking area, they just pulled over on the side of the street. They got a $150 parking ticket for parking in the street when they weren't supposed to be in the street. So that was their mistake. Vega. Snow's coming tonight. All righty. Well, it's been an hour. I have enjoyed doing this. Clinic day 2. I will just go through 1 or 2 pictures, and I think we're going to call it a night. And we can come back. I don't know, when do you want to come back and do the touring pictures? I can show you some of the Machu Picchu and the places that we visited. Let me know in here what day works best for everybody, or what night. Can you see this lady with the baby on her back? Do you see that baby peeking out from her little thing around her neck? This is how they carried their kids. Baby was a peeking out. They would carry their stuff their personal items, they would carry a lot of stuff. This is a little fruit they brought to me to try while I was at the clinic. It came off a bush at their house, I guess, at somebody's house that was there, one of the preachers. And I tried it. It was really good, actually. Yeah, peekaboo, baby. Yo, interested in seeing another live stream with the vacation, not vacation, but the travel part of these videos, the travel part of these.
The touristy section, the touristy part.
Touristy part. Yeah, it almost looks like a cherry tomato. No matter which evening. Whatever night. Well, do you want to do it again maybe next Tuesday? We'll go through the is everybody available next Tuesday to come and do the touristy part? It was sweet. Had a little bit of sweetness to it. All right, we'll do next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. This is a couple of guys sitting outside their shop. This is the only way I know to show these images is to keep just clicking on random images in my file here. So I hope this is working for you and it's not too choppy. This is yeah, Troy, I hope you're feeling better soon. This is one of the meals I had, which was just kind of like a stir-fry beef with rice. And I think I had this when we went down to the marketplace one time we went down to get some water and stuff. And a few of us decided we were going to eat there in the marketplace area. There was a little restaurant. And I got the beef stir-fry with the rice. It was pretty good. Yeah, I hope everybody feels better. I hope you all stay warm because I know the snow is coming.
Right.
But this is our group. This will be the last picture. This is our group in the courtyard of the hotel in Ayacucho. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 of us there.
Here you go. Todd's all called it for you. See it?
Every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. his time. It's 7 p.m. our time.
Val and Steve.
Every Tuesday night. Well, we're going to have to come up with some kind of taste test or something.
No, you got to finish this first.
Well, I know I got to do my travel ones. All right. So we're going to start with the travel ones Tuesday at 7 p.m. I will put up another live stream so you can have that to remind you. And I want to thank everybody for coming in because I think we had a really good turnout tonight. I think there was at least 12 people here. There's 15 right now, which is totally awesome. You guys rock. Thank you so much. I have some video coming. I'm just going to put the video up of what we've talked about so far. There'll be some video of that, and I'll add some more pictures to it so you guys can see the pictures I didn't get to show. And I'm not going to show any of the touring video until we talk about it on the live stream first. I'm going to save it for you guys because you guys rock. All right. And Steve will be here. And we'll make him talk or something. All right.
I'll tell you what I like about my Achu hat. How's that?
What do you like about your Achu hat?
I'll tell him next time we see him.
Next time you see him? Okay. All right. Thank you all. I will catch you next time. Hope you all stay warm and get well and all that good stuff. And we'll see you Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock Todd's time. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody. Y'all are cool. You rock.